Hi, this is Mambo Sandy, and today I have a quick little topic, okay? My dear clients or future clients or clients of others, okay? I understand that there are lots of horrible spiritual workers, or some of you call them scammers online. I understand that, and I get that. I think many other spiritual workers get that too. But it's not fair for you to come to a spiritual worker who is of good morals, good heart, and basically think that they're supposed to take the the brunt of what someone else did to you. I will leave it like this. If I went to 3 different restaurants and I had a horrible meal, and then I went to the fourth restaurant and I see that, the food looks good, but I say to the manager, um, I don't want to pay for this food because I went to other restaurants and I was scammed. Or the food was horrible and I don't want to pay. Or I don't have the money. Either one or two things will happen. Either A, they'll escort me out, or B, they'll call the police. It's that simple. So when you contact a spiritual worker, some of them, some of us may do work for charity if we feel it is necessary, or if our Loa or Orishas or ancestors or spiritual guides guide us to do so. If they feel that, okay? If they don't, then we won't. And I see all kinds of little things put up, oh, if you have a gift, you shouldn't charge for your gift because you weren't charged for your gift, and why are you charging? Okay. So, let me explain it to you this way. For us to take care of our Loa and Orishas, we cannot go to the liquor store and get booze for free. It's not going to happen. We can't go and get cigarettes and cigars for free. It won't happen. We can't get food offerings for our Loa and Orisha for free. Everything is to be paid for. Our initiations, our ceremonies, some of us that have the ratio for our godparents, or to basically pay for our ceremonies, those things were paid with money. The world we live in, that's how it is. It also has come to my attention that some out there feel that they are more important, or their job is more important than what a spiritual worker does. Well, that is not so. Everyone wants to get paid for their time. If you go to a dentist, he will not blink an eye in charging you what he feels will be for your teeth to be done. Okay? If you go to a hairdresser, any other professional, a lawyer, they're going to charge you what they feel is their worth for their time. It is completely up to you to pay that. You may or you may not. So, with that being said, please be mindful when you reach out to a spiritual worker. All right? They have families just like you do. They have to pay rent just like you do. All right? So be mindful and fair when you contact a spiritual worker. You don't want someone wasting your time. You don't want to go to work and your boss tell you, well, for these 2 hours you're not going to get paid. That would make you very angry and upset. So take that into consideration when you reach out to a spiritual worker. There's only 8 hours in a day almost. Okay? Feasible. All right? Some of us, we wake up at sunup. When there's sunrise, we're up. As I said before, we're up with the chickens, sometimes before the chickens. So, we must check emails, we must answer phone calls, and all those things. So if you really have no mind in if you really do not have the mind to get a reading done or work done, please leave that time for someone who probably needs our help. If you know you don't have it right now, and you know when you don't have it, just like I know if I go to Macy's, I don't go to Macy's when I don't have any money. I stay home because I know Macy's isn't going to give me charity. I understand that. Now, once again, like I said, sometimes we do give charity when our Orisha and Loa tell us to. We are not heartless like I see some of these things written. But the facts are the facts. At one time, spiritual workers did not charge like they do now. Because in that time frame, people understood truly that those people had to pay bills too. So they would sometimes leave groceries and money, or sometimes they would just leave something. But it was a fair amount. But that's not today. Everybody's trying to hold on to their pocket, hold on to $1, and they want people to do something for nothing. And that is not fair. That is why spiritual workers started charging for their work, because people were not being fair. When you're sleeping, we're up. As a spiritual worker, we're not allowed to have a bad day. If someone dies in our family, I'm going to be blunt here. Many of you don't care. You just want the work that's in progress to be finished. So, if someone's papa dies, or someone's mama dies, or someone's tio dies, and they're a spiritual worker, they must go to that funeral, deal with the situation, and come back and do what they need to do for their client, or their client will get upset and then they want to go and write bad reviews. So, as a spiritual worker, we're not allowed to have a lot of the conveniences that you have. We're not allowed. If our child is sick, that is probably one of the only things that we can take the time out and say, okay, my baby is sick, and even that to a degree. Life rolls on for us. Whereas if some of you have something happen in your family, you may take a day to mourn or to do what you need to do. That is just the facts. Now, if you want the work that a spiritual worker has you do to work properly, please follow the instruction to the letter. Next, it's not wise to listen to a whole bunch of different people online concerning getting spiritual work done. What I mean by this is, if someone has done spiritual work for you and they've been very patient, and then you decide that I'm not going to get the other part of the work done, even though you're seeing a result. Please do not get upset when it's undone. And it's not undone by the spiritual worker. What you forget is we are just the medium. We are just the vehicle for our Loa and our Orisha. Do you think when you upset a spiritual worker that, wouldn't you think that if you upset your spiritual worker that you're upsetting your spirit? Do you think when you go and do nasty things to a spiritual worker that you're doing something to their spirit that is working for you? Have some type of respect. Be forthcoming when working with a spiritual worker. Because I see a lot of spiritual workers being bashed and bashed for no reason. And no one wants to turn the fingers towards themselves. So, what I'm going to say is, before you decide to point fingers at someone, understand you need to look and see the fingers that are being pointed back at yourself. This is Mambo Sandy, and I hope that these messages get through to you. Fair is fair. Let's be fair to one another, and let's be understanding of one another, and let's have clear communication so that misunderstandings will not be had. Let's respect each other. Client respect spiritual worker respect client. This is what needs to happen. This is Mambo Sandy. Have a good evening.